N is for numbers.
So babies stopped dying, which was good news. So there were more of us to make, well, more of us. After the war, we had a baby boom. Between 1946 and 1965, a smidge over 1 million babies were born in New Zealand, 77% more than in the 20 years before. So the boomers were hatched and then matched, which gave us the echo boomers. Their kids delivered the next blip in the 1980s. It's been all quiet on the Western Front, but recently we scored the highest birth rate in 44 years. Good work, everyone. I think that's something to celebrate, although I'm running that past demographer Natalie Jackson.
We can't know the future, but we need to know how many creches we need, how many teachers we need, how many paediatricians we need, and it takes time to train teachers and doctors and nurses and so on. It takes time to build hospitals. We need to know those things, so our demography helps us to map the future a little bit.
What is the shape of New Zealand for the future down there?
Our population's ageing, meaning that we've got an increasing proportion over the age of 65. And what's most profound about population ageing is actually the diminishing proportion of our population that's young. Now, we have never had societies that have had more elderly than children before, but that's the future that we're just 12 years away from in New Zealand.
What's better for a nation? Too many children or not enough?
For many years now, people have been wringing their hands together about, population growth and, burgeoning young populations around the world and so on. But suddenly, because Western women are having fewer children, suddenly the picture is turned and everyone's starting to say, oh, we need more babies. And at the moment, we're getting about 63,000 births a year in New Zealand. That's the same as we were getting in the 1960s. But the population is twice the size. This current little baby blip that we're seeing is a very, very valuable thing for New Zealand, and what is so important now is that government and society in general recognise that this may be the last large cohort of children that we ever have born. So we really need to invest in that future. It's critically important to New Zealand's future.
I know what you're thinking, about Northland's health anyway. You're thinking, our system is under huge pressure from an ageing population and the prevalence of long-term conditions. You want to be more in control. You want your life to be more simple, cleverly simple. Bingo. You are plugged into everything, anywhere in the region you want to be. Doctors, nurses, all one, all integrated, innovative, more in sync with you and me.
Yeah, then at 3 o'clock in the morning I was beaten, smashed, stabbed, slashed, you name it, it happened to me. And I woke up in Nelson Hospital. My head was messed up, was beaten beyond recognition. They classed the head injury side of it as a TBI, traumatic brain injury. They put me into a psych ward, but I still suffer from chronic pain, which means I'm on chronic pain medication. I was on 160 odd milligrams of morphine a day. Mike Anderson, he was the pain specialist, he said you need the warm weather, spend some time in the warm weather, and the levels of pain medications that I was getting was well above what they give people on their last legs. To keep them comfortable, I wanted to come off it. The only way to do it was to sell up, shift out of there, go somewhere warm. Samoa was suggested, but that was a bit far for me. So I came back to where I lived 30 years ago. I was here a week in Whangarei. I was here a week and I ended up in Whangarei Hospital with a heart attack. But as it's turned out, it's been the most memorable thing throughout my whole history with the hospital over the last 8 years, any of the hospitals that I've dealt with. In the last 8 years, from the moment I walked into that GP surgery to the moment I got out of hospital, a day or two later, I can't remember, it was a day or two, I was informed every single step of the way of what was going on. No, I reckon coming up here was by far the right move. If I'd gone anywhere else, I would have been moving out. The doctors and the nurses up here are so superior and so more caring than any other hospital I've been in, and I've been in a few, about 7 or 8 to be exact. Yeah, I just find them brilliant. Know what you're there for. Be told what is going on around you. If they're not sure about something, say so. And and don't automatically assume just because a person has had, I freely admit I've been in there and there's been some chronic drug users in there, and it's pretty obvious what they're there for. But don't assume everybody that's crook is in that category. The doctors and nurses at Whangarei Hospital, keep doing what you're doing a magic job.
Hello Sarah, Jacob is required. Scanning. Health passport updated. Have a good day.
Mr. James Tahir. Son. Oh, surf's up, is it? Well, no, normally no, but there's no one in reception right now. All right, okay. All right, we'll meet you there. Okay, see you there.